I was watching this TikTok clip and it inspired me to come speak to y'all. So, ta-da! Here I am in all my authenticity. Some of you have had a preview with me and some of you have not. So if you're new, welcome you to me. In my perspectives, my views on society, and etc. If you understand me, you understand when I speak, my words typically carry some weight or power. I just want to acknowledge that it's not by my hand. I am simply a messenger. I am simply a messenger. But in my responsibility as being a messenger, understand I can see through people. Like, I can see you. I see your pain. I see your trauma. Most times I can understand your perspectives, your discriminations, your biases, your limitations, essentially. I can understand your limitations. So if I'm not speaking to you a lot of times, it may be I don't trust you because you've shown some inconsistency because of how I attempt to understand people. I spot that easily. Oh, those two perspectives, they don't align, they don't match, something's off. People don't understand. I see them. And in seeing them, I see their trauma. I see their pain. And when I'm trying to speak to people, I'm trying to speak to that trauma and that pain. I'm trying to make a little tweak in your perspective to open you up just a little bit more so you can start your healing journey if you aren't already on it. But if you have limitations, you have blocks, and I cannot reach you, especially after years, and I cannot reach you, I gotta wash my hands of you. Like, people don't understand when the Bible says you know not what you entertain angels, you really don't know. You don't know. And because you have no real understanding of the spiritual realm, let's just be real. You have no understanding of the spiritual realm. You don't understand a lot. If you think this world is only made up of what you can see, you don't understand a lot. Prime example, can you see air? No, you can't see air, but you understand air is flowing through your body and you need air to breathe. You understand that concept. But it's not something you can put your hands on, you can hold. It's not something you can see, but it's something you can experience. That's how the spiritual realm works. It's something you can experience. For some of y'all, it's the fact that you can't live in the present moment. You can't ever enjoy the present moment. You can't ever experience the present moment. You're too focused on the past and you're too focused on the future. And now I want to take credit for this concept, but it was not me. This is me building on something Coach G. And I just want to give him a shout out, Coach G-E-E, Coach G. And that brother's the truth. He the truth. I can feel it in my spirit. He's the truth. So for that reason, you probably will hear me lean on a lot of his concepts. But anyway, with that whole thing, with the spiritual realm, you gotta understand it's something that you experience. But to experience, you gotta be in the now. You gotta be here. You gotta be present. You gotta be able to feel the emotion around you. You gotta be able to genuinely connect with other spirits. Like that whole thing when it says the body of Christ, like you always think in a materialistic, the physical, the tangible world. No. The body of Christ, us being connected, us being whole, us being one, is in the spirit of love. You're supposed to come in the spirit of love, not individuality, not being judgmental, not being hateful, not being cunning, not being manipulative, not lying. I believe first commandment is love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is so important. Because when you look at the other commandments, they just support that one commandment. They're a show. They're like a bullet list of how you can accomplish loving somebody else, because that is the ultimate goal, to love unconditionally. For some of you, that might be a partner. For some of you, that might be a child. For some of you, that might be a parent. But your goal here is to learn how to love, like the Most High love. Oh, you spit in my face? I still love you. Oh, you cheated on me? I still love you. But you got to grow. You got to develop. Because who wants to be in stagnation, slothfulness? Nobody. You ain't going to grow that way. That's not how you grow and you progress. The Bible is firmly rooted on agriculture because it's firmly rooted on the concept of how to grow as an individual and a person. When you get there, when you get to that space of love, you understand it. You understand it. You understand that you got the concept. You understand that you got the theory, and you have earned your graduation, because, boy, to get there, what you got to go through down here ain't no joke. And for some of you, you feel like you're entitled to it. It's not the words alone. You got to show action. You got to show devotion. You got to show intention. That's why intention is judged so heavily in the Bible. It ain't about how many times you say the word Jesus and Christ and the Most High and God. It ain't about that. Y'all missing it. Y'all missing it, and y'all need to wake up. It ain't about that. It's about, do you love your fellow man enough that if you saw his leg broken, you got to go to work. Mind you, let's set up the scenario. You got to go to work. You on your third strike, right? Some of y'all people who be late to work all the time, you understand what I'm talking about. I've been there. I had to grow out of that behavior. I've been there. You on your third late to work, right? They like, hey, you do this again, girl, this is it. It's over for you. Or boy, whoever's listening. It's over for you. You ain't got no job no more. But you see your fellow man laying on the sidewalk with a broke leg. Been laying there so long, ants are starting to crawl up on this wound and this fracture. Been there so long, so unnoticed, so unseen. So you run over. you stop. You know, the righteous person, the person with integrity, who is empathetic enough to think, dang, if I was in that situation, I would want somebody to help me. That person. So you stop and you aid them, irregardless of, I may not have a job later. Irregardless of that, because it's not about that. Do you love somebody enough to do that? Because that's how your scales are being weighed. That's how you being judged. Not on your words. That's why they say faith without works is dead. It takes words and it takes actions. It takes words and it takes action. Y'all better grow up. This entitlement, this thought that if I scream it loud enough, I say it long enough, I'm a win. That's what you think. You may get some people to believe and understand that that's counted against you. That's counted against you because you're putting a stumbling block in front of your people. So if you convince them that this is the way it's supposed to work, how things are supposed to work, you in trouble, because that ain't how it's supposed to work. Now, if you're ignorant, grace is given for ignorance, but punishment still comes, especially when you were warned. Warning always comes before destruction. Warning always comes before destruction. And people so wrapped up on packaging that they miss it all the time. They miss it all the time. Keep in mind, you know not when you entertain angels. You don't know how divinely protected somebody is till you harm them. At that moment, at that time, consequences may not come. But hey, the Most High is righteous. It's gonna come. And I fear that for a lot of people, which is why I think if I love them enough, if I can just show them an example of this, why would they not accept this? But people so caught up on their own carnal needs, goals, aspirations that they miss their purpose. To love your neighbor as you love yourself, you miss your purpose. That's what you're supposed to do. And y'all, all these people, oh, I wish I would have came up with that. Oh, I wish I would have thought about that invention. You know what that person did that they're being rewarded for tenfold? That million, billionaire, trillionaire, we're talking about unicorns. They thought about how they can help the collective. Oh, this is a headache for me. This is a burden for me. How can I alleviate this problem for other people? If you drill down business, that is at the very essence of any business, any concept, any patent, any trademark, any idea. How can I solve a problem for other people? How can I make other people's lives easier? And if you're successful, them coins stack, not only here, but spiritually. You're being rewarded for a good deed. Some people so caught up on themselves that they don't get that that's the true reward. When you're talking about, I want a gold mansion, this big old whatever in heaven. I want to be sitting pretty, but I don't want to go through nothing. I don't want to have to sacrifice to get it because I'm entitled. I feel like I deserve this. Ain't nothing on this earth not earned. And when you realize, or people get lucky, because that happens. People get a windfall. Something happens. Somebody, as a benefit of somebody else's planning or preparation or whatever, someone else gets lucky, right? They get this windfall. What you find is that they easily lose the windfall. The reason why, they didn't have to sacrifice to get it. Easy come, easy go. Why you think in music videos, the stereotypical patron, let's say it like that, who typically is a minority, with gold teeth, gold chains, you get the picture that I'm painting, right? That typical character, because this is not every black man. Again, I don't speak in generals. Ain't no general. Everybody's individual. So you take what you need from this message. I come with love. I ain't here to offend. I'm speaking my truth. You don't like my truth, that's okay. You don't like me, that's okay. I like me. Matter of fact, I love me. And I love my truth. And I love my voice. So if any of that is offensive for you, you do not have to be here. You don't have to be here. You can go somewhere else. I'm A-okay with that. This is for those who have ears to hear. Again, I'm just a messenger. But anyway, going back to my example. I just had to put that disclaimer out there because I felt like, oh, somebody gonna be triggered. Somebody gonna be triggered and they gonna miss their message. They gonna miss their blessing because they triggered. So apologies in advance. So anyway, this character, right? What they normally doing, living a street life. They getting fast money. They getting fast money. And just as fast as that money coming in, they're blowing their money. And if you look at, let's be real, you look at the path of where that money that they acquired in a fast way goes to, it goes to continuously feed people who partake in the same mind frame. They all on the same time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, We get money in quick, we spend money quick. They all on the same timeline. They got the same perspective. That's fine. But guess what they're not doing in that process? They ain't looking out for nobody else. It's a homeless lady. I pass on my way. She got one spot. So anytime I'm headed in this direction, she out there. She homeless. She ain't got nowhere to go. She got her bags all around her. She carry around like a shopping cart and a case of water. And as many times as I have passed by her, I've seen one time, like Hunger Games, and the clock in that scene at the end of the series. Not Hunger Games, excuse me, Squid Games, for those of y'all who can pick up on a reference to visual here. Help just needed to come by a certain time. But it was like, I remember it's raining or something like that, or it's a hot day, and somebody came and sat next to her, and I saw a little bit of her light. Like I saw her light up a little bit. And I'm like, dang, she really be out here alone. And then that made me wonder, what kind of pain would make you choose loneliness? What type of pain would make you choose loneliness? Because everybody wants a companion. Everybody wants a friend. Everybody wants a boyfriend, girlfriend. Like everybody wants some type of relationship. And people don't realize that craving, that desire to want companionship, to want a relationship, is because, hey, where two or more are joined, I am in the midst. Let's be real. That's what that boils down to. There, you can feel it. You can feel it, especially if it's somebody you vibe with. Best friend, again, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. It's somebody you vibe with. If the spirit is right, he gonna be there. He gonna be there. And you can feel his presence within the space and the interaction. And as long as you're beholden to that presence, you embrace that presence in its fullness. You're operating with no malintention, no self-serving goal. You're operating outside of ego and pride, right? Let's be real, because all of that lives, fear, anxiety, whatever. All that lives within pride and ego, right? It's gonna be one of the two. That's that people don't get it. That's the biggest mental block. That's what stops your growth, pride and ego. If you can get past your pride and ego, boy, you golden. That's the pathway to success. That's the pathway to growth. That's how you evolve. That's how you develop. For my pattern seekers, those people who love to find patterns and things, this task should be easy for you. If you haven't done it yet, maybe you don't realize that's the task. That's it. It's to overcome your own pride and ego. And that's submission, men and women. Men and women, that is submission by definition. Those who've been married for years, and I'm talking 15 plus years, those who have been married for years, they understand this concept fully. They understand it fully. That's how you grow and evolve. You gotta kill pride and ego. When pride and ego are out of your way, that leaves room for growth. That's how you make your soil fertile for seeds to be planted and watered. You live in pride and ego, you die right at your stage. There is no elevation for you. You don't even understand in some moments, in some instances. I ain't saying a just man's fall 7 times. I ain't saying pride and ego ain't gonna never be there. The ending of that, he gets back up again. You gotta, I was prideful. Yeah, I had a whole lot of ego in this situation. La 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 la. Yeah, I'm right. I'm never wrong. You gonna find you always wrong. Because if you don't kill that pride and ego, you will not grow. You're going to be stagnant. And if that's where you want to be, you comfortable, you happy within your stagnation, free will, baby. Free will. But that does not have to vibrate within my frequency. That doesn't have to come near me. You don't have to be in my space to do that. You go do that. You want to do that? Go do that. Free will. You'll never get bitterness or jadedness from me. Go do what you gotta do. I am a judgment-free. I think people who really know me. They understand I'm a judgment-free zone. I'm the most liberal person in the world. But in that, being so liberal, I had to learn my lesson about that. Like, everything got boundaries. Every country, every property. We talking about like a home. They got fences. They got boundaries. They got sidewalks. Every established place has boundaries. So for that reason, liberation with boundaries is the message I'm trying to preach with you. Yeah, liberation with boundaries. That's it. Like, everybody ain't got to come on your property. Like, you want everybody on your property? You want everybody stepping on your yard, especially for those men who take pride in their yards. They understand. Like, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into making this lawn look lush and green and fertile. I'm out there spraying weed killer and bug spray, trying to keep my home protected in this process of trying to keep my yard looking pristine. They take pride in that. So let's assume you one of them people, right? From their perspective. And you got this stranger in your yard. Not only is this stranger in your yard, but this stranger is on your grass. They ain't got no respect. They don't see how lush my grass is. Why they stepping on my grass? This person is not only invading my personal space, but they come in with disrespect in the process. You know how mad that homeowner would be? Because it shows so much selfishness within that process, so much lack of consideration within that one episode, that one instance. And they all to the person, the doer, the executor, the person standing on the grass. They all seem like such trivial things. Oh, why are they tripping? Oh, that's a little thing. But them little things add up. Because let's say, for instance, it's a salesperson, right? You say, okay, whatever. I vibe with the salesperson. I'm going to do business with them. But I ain't got the money right now. Come back Friday. I'll pay you Friday. And you say, hey, yo, like, can you not step on my grass? You know, you get that heads up. Like, I'm not being malicious. I'm not being mean. But, like, bro, when you come back, can you have a little bit more respect for our property? And like what I'm trying to do. So he said, yeah, I got you. Walked out the door, right? Happy. He's just happy he got an appointment on Friday. And he comes back on Friday. You know, you expecting him. Yeah, I got an appointment. He comes back at his appointed time, right? And you open up that door. And you see that salesman. He ain't step on your grass. He on a walkway this time, but he parked his car on your grass. So you can take that one of two ways. Either you fully didn't understand what I meant when I gave you that little heads up. Hey, next time, like, keep your behind off my grass. Or you trying me. And the problem with us now, we so triggered. We so reactive. We jump to the assumption that people be trying us instead of us just thinking maybe this is this person's first sale and they so nervous and they're just trying to remember everything, not to mention the 20 other appointments that they had this week and the 5 other people that said they was gonna follow up with them. Maybe they not doing this to trigger me. Maybe they ain't trying to be disrespectful. Maybe they just nervous. You see the two perspectives that I painted though? Like, if we communicated more, we took time, we were patient, we were long-suffering enough to ask clarifying questions, to allow more space for grace, we ain't got to come back and apologize later. Because let's say homeowner see that, he pop off. Like, because essentially he feels disrespectful. He's coming from a place of pain. But this salesperson is coming from a place of anxiousness. Well-intentioned, but anxious. I ain't trying to harm you. I ain't trying to trigger you. Like, I ain't trying to disrespect you. All humbleness, right? Are you more likely to extend additional grace? Most people gonna say, yeah, of course. Like, I see the humility. I can empathize with that person. And all it means to empathize is just to see yourself from another person's perspective. Let's be real. That's all empathy is. People be talking about, I'm an empath, blase, what? Yes. And this was not me, because I used to say, oh, I'm empathic. Oh, la. Again, a foundation built by Coach G. Okay, go check him out. Coach G-E-E. But additionally, empaths don't exist. What exists is people who can see people from their perspective. People who are so traveled, so versatile with the groups that they travel within, the circles they've been invited into, the seats they've been able to sit into. Someone who has had so much exposure throughout life. Let's say that. Someone who has had so much exposure to different perspectives throughout life. She learned how to quickly analyze them. I can quickly tell what box you fit in. I can quickly tell your perspective because I can quickly identify your group. Identification isn't only by words. Let me be frank and honest with you. You would identify by a lot of things. For you to figure out what those are, you gotta grow so you can see. Because even if I tried to explain it to you, for some of you, you ain't ready. It's just gonna go over your head. So I feel a burning in my chest. Okay. I'm gonna be obedient. I'm gonna be obedient. It's in everything. Understand that communication is verbal and non-verbal. That's what people miss. Communication is not only verbal, but not non-verbal. And the majority of your communication, because it's guided by your subconscious, is done without you even realizing it. Like, y'all be telling on yourselves and y'all don't even realize it. Because it's not in the words that you speak. The words that you speak is the lowest percentage of all of the communication style. It's like the words don't mean nothing because words can be fabricated. And y'all, y'all who have eyes to hear, understand what I mean by that. Y'all understand. Y'all can see the impact and the ripple effect of people who just believe people's words and they fail to read their actions. They fail to read their non-verbal communication. They failed to read their face. They failed to read their tone. They failed. They failed. Either that, or they ain't for your benefit anyway. You know what I mean? Like, but people don't realize that. They don't realize communication as a whole. They don't realize the art of communication. Like, I feel like that's died. And even though I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit here, so because I have a love and intolerance, for the sake of algorithm, relationship with technology. I love it. I feel we can't live without it, but I also feel like it's leading us to our demise. I ain't gonna lie to you, because the whole concept of feeling connected without ever being connected is irrational at its basis. Like, okay, we can do a streaming party, right? As a concept. Let me just run this by you, because I've seen this business concept play out. So we can do a streaming party together. Everybody can join in like a Zoom. We can stream the movie in the midst of this crowd of people, and we can react real time. For those of you old school, and I'm talking about old school, red box, blockbuster, DVDs, tape recorder. I'm talking about y'all old school, right? What is that? What is it? It's a movie. It's a movie. But instead of us going to an actual movie theater and experiencing other people's laughs and other people's enjoyment and their fear and their anticipation, instead of living in the moment and experiencing the moment real time in a collected space, essentially a movie theater, but we've substituted that to be able to experience the movie and only hear it, but we can't feel it anymore. Like, I feel like the internet almost has this agenda to disconnect people from what the soul really is, like what it means. Like, because we're getting away, it seems like, living within a community, supporting each other, rallying for each other, going to a game real time. Like, it's severed. It's severing our relationships, like our real face-to-face, meet in person, connect with nature mentality. Because as kids, we didn't have phones. I'll be real with you. Again, I'm telling my age, but whatever. Those who have here, we didn't have cell phones. Cell phones didn't come till I was in elementary school. Early elementary school, like that. And those were the brick phones. And people with them big old awkward looking brick phones thought they were doing something back in the day. That was the whole thing. Like, y'all don't feel stupid carrying that massive weight on your shoulder and having to carry that massive weight to your head. My daddy had a phone like that. So I played with it, and I'm like, dang, this thing is uncomfortable. It's huge. It's bulky. Like, who wants to carry this? And y'all were paying top dollar just to have it. But I understand it was about the experience, because people who had it also got the luxury of experiencing what it was like to be able to connect with people without necessarily, via phone, without necessarily having to be in their home. It was good for a mover and a shaker, let's be real. Which is why we understand why the majority of people who had it were were the group that had it. Hint, hint, wink, wink to those of you who can hear. We understand why they had it. Like, it was an easier way to connect on the move. Because prior to that, what was it, beepers? You got an emergency at the hospital, the doctor is being paged, and then the doctor has to find a payphone or somebody's landline to use to call a hospital back. Inconvenient. That's why a lot of doctors ended up getting phones. Inconvenient. So, hey, we're doing away with the pagers. But that was a way of signaling you of, what is it? The Pavlovian bell concept. Ting, ting, ting. Conditioning. Come answer this phone. Ting, ting, ting. Conditioning. Come answer this phone. Okay, you get to that stage. You good at that. Now we're going to give you a way where you don't have to go back home primarily to communicate. Because they did have payphones, so you could always hop on a payphone, but it seems those have become obsolete. So a lot of kids may not know what a payphone. So for my youngins in the audience, because you're meant to get the message as well. Back in the day, there was a phone booth. Because we didn't have cell phones. There was a phone booth with a landline. You could pay $0.25 and you could make a phone call. Well, you made that, to whoever you needed to. But that also required you to have more muscle memory. You had to remember the phone numbers. We didn't have no smartphone we could scroll through to look up phone numbers. You either had a phone book that you carried with you. Everybody used to have these little paper phone books. I see some of y'all are using it today for precepts. So, more power for you for reinventing something, like bringing something back from the old school. So kudos to y'all for doing that. I did see that. But essentially, it's a phone book. It's a book of all your numbers, all your contacts that you see in your phone right now, present day, right? What you're referencing in that essence It's the phone book. It's essentially, it was a little book we can reference with everybody's number, because you knew you wasn't going to remember everybody's number, but the more you dialed it, the more you remembered it. Muscle memory. You practice that skill of remembering, which is why now you see short attention span. Y'all can't remember nothing. It's really hard now for the generation to remember something. We went through memorization tasks. Remember when teaching was more about rotary learning? For my teachers, my instructors out there, and for those of you who may not know, rotary learning is repetitive behavior. I'm writing this word. Like, let's say, for instance, you got a spelling list for the week, right? 7 words, whatever. You're going to have a quiz at the end of the week about centered around the spelling of these 7 words, right? In that process, as part of the assignment, they made you write the word over and over and over and over again daily. They did find creative ways to do it. Hey, make a sentence with this word. Hey, write this word 5 times. Use this word within a paragraph. Like, they did creative assignments with it. But essentially, the goal was to get you to continually write the word until you internalized it, until you memorized it, until your muscle memory developed. Because we've taken that out of schools, and now people just got to type. You've changed it. It becomes about remembering where the keyboards are, not writing. And through writing, again, experience is how you connect with your soul. Writing by hand is an experience. It's how you connect with your soul. It's something you can't necessarily put on autopilot, because it's a connection between something physical and something mental and something emotional, because you're utilizing 3 different aspects of yourself within that process. It's hard. It's harder to forget. It's more of an experience. You're more connected to the piece of paper. You know, like, you're more connected to the words. They flow better, but when you type in, it's not the same. It's not the same. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox now and stop talking about AI, because I do love y'all. Let's be real, without AI, we ain't getting paid. I love AI. Don't get me wrong. But understand balance, right? Bible always say a false balance is an abomination. Now, at this present day, at this point in time, we're allowing technology to raise our children. We're not feeding into our children. We're not sharing our experiences. We're not helping them to grow. Throwing money at them is not growth, baby. That's support financially, but it's support in no other way. We got to start connecting back with our kids. We complain that YNs, and again, not targeting you, I'm just quoting what the collective has been saying, right? The general consensus, because this does seem to be some groups' general consensus, YNs, and not everybody are YNs that are young. I'm just trying to, for those people who may be triggered, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to make a reference that's connected to present day, to our present day situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to help somebody grow here. I ain't trying to offend you. Again, you offended, you ain't got to be here. Go somewhere else. You ain't got to be here. Just speaking my truth. Again, I'm only the messenger. I'm only the messenger. So essentially, right? Dang, I forgot my point. So anyway, YNs. I know it was connected to YNs. Oh, YNs ain't about nothing. They entitled. They lazy. And they are. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm always gonna come to you with balance, right? But it's crazy. They ain't doing that battle, because these YNs are driving the same cars it took some young 30 years to earn. So do they really have the game twisted? Do they really have nothing to teach you? Again, pride and ego. You don't know what you could learn from somebody if you just took the time to dig a little deeper, to search for a little bit more clarity, and to stop being so easily offended. You'd be surprised at what some people have to offer you, including the homeless lady who carrying a case of waters in the same spot day after day, who still has light. We miss that. Everybody who's still here When your light dies, you die. Let's be real. When your light dies, you die. Everybody got light. Unless, okay, so let me, because I'm being told I need to clarify death, right? So what clarifying death, what I mean by dying, right? It ain't only physical. That's what y'all be thinking. Everything is physical. It's not only physical or cardinal, it's also spiritual. When people be like, oh, that person got a demon on them, that person possessed. What they mean, that person has no light. That person has no light within them. So there is a such thing as a spiritual death. Let's be real, right? And then you could still be here as a vessel. It's almost like you just switching teams. You know what I mean? Like, y'all better start looking at life like a chess game and stop playing checkers. That's why some of y'all losing. You too surface with this. When you learn chess, you understand. You understand life a lot better. You understand some people are intended to be pawns. Some people are intended to be vessels. And not always vessels alike. Because that's not the game we playing here. But it ain't going to be that easy. Not to beat this level in the game. It ain't going to be that easy. And because of you, some of you, right? Because let's be real. There is no chess master. I don't know if they call them grand wizards or whatever. Like, I'm kind of surface level in the chess, but it ain't really my passion. So I didn't dive deeper, but I played chess before. So, right, understand, I have a foundation for the understanding of the game of chess. I just don't have no passion to pursue it and to learn it like that. So just keeping that context in mind for my chess players, right? But I think it's grand wizard, it's something like that, right? For the title. Anyway, what I'm alluding to, getting off on the tangent, what I'm alluding to is every high-ranking chess player, right? Whatever they title may be, because I don't want to pay it no disrespect. Like, I just don't know it. I'm gonna be real. I just don't know what the title is. Not being disrespectful to the art, because that game ain't no joke. So for you to get a high achievement within that takes a lot of practice. But guess what? With a lot of practice came a lot of losses. And that person never quit. They never stopped growing in their process because they had a goal to achieve. You get it? Do you get it? Because that's what it boils down to. You got a goal to achieve. You got a purpose to achieve. If you mad because somebody knocked you down, you so mad that you just gonna fold your hands and pout like a child. I ain't getting back up. No, because they hurt me. I ain't getting back up. If that's how you went throughout your whole life, you gonna fail. You gonna miss it. You ain't gonna never be ready. For whatever it is you're called to do, you ain't gonna never be ready. Because you gotta grow. The Most High is measuring your growth. Again, scripture. Connected to a lot of agriculture. A lot of talks of seeds and trees. Why do you think that is? There's nothing new under the sun. Think about that. You know how trees connect? Well, the belief, because I don't know this for real. I've never dug anywhere or whatever, but the concept has been presented. The possibility that trees are deeply connected underground. There's like this whole network of roots and etc. for trees. They present as individual on the surface because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be an individual, but deep down, aka spiritually, deep down underneath, you're supposed to be connected and in community and in communication with each other. You need to feel each other. So, and also, when you do that, when you feel each other like that, that is what builds community. You don't just throw people together and expect a community to exist. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But if you have this true community, because you hear stories from back in the day, and you know back in the day, grandma was having 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 kids. Hey, that TV went off at a certain time. We had a lot of kids, so a lot of us if we were within that transitional period, TV went off at a certain time, right? We didn't even have late night TV, so there was nothing to do past a certain time. But nonetheless, if you have these big families, right, and dad is working, mom's a homemaker, because paying for childcare for 10 kids ain't gonna make no sense to nobody. Ain't no job that's gonna pay you enough to make that make sense to nobody. Let's be real. Let's be real and honest about it. Not gonna happen, right? So mom's a stay-at-home mom, and dad is out there busting his behind, grinding all day. He grinding all day so he can make sure his kids and his wife are provided for. Make sure they got a roof over their head. Make sure they got food to eat. Make sure they got clothes to wear to the best of his ability. He is essentially a provider, right? So when he comes home, because if his wife, right, understands what it means to take on that much weight and that much pressure, to carry that much burden throughout the day. If they fully understand that, they fully understand that all you want to come home to is peace. You want to come home to peace. And peace is going to be different for everybody. And that's what people are missing too, individuality. Stop thinking because person A and person B and person C think this, I need to think this too. Get out of that. You ain't person A, B, C, or D. You person you. You person yourself. Stop doing that. So coming from the perspective that every single person in their uniqueness is going to desire their own definition of peace. That's part of knowing each other before y'all get married, is coming to an understanding of things and concepts like that. Baby, what do you consider peace? What's peace to you? That's where you're trying to check your alignment in terms of perspectives in life. Not how appealing they look. Not how tantalizing they may be, just to remain appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't supposed to do all that. Like, Bible say everything that glitter ain't gold. There's a reason the Bible say everything that glitter ain't gold. Y'all better recognize that. Like, and that's why so many baby mamas and baby daddies and this person ain't and this person ain't. Did you know that before y'all laid together? If you knew it before y'all laid together, did it just not matter in that moment? Even though you fully understand this is a possibility. You fully understand this is a possibility. And this is what okay, I'm about to get on my soapbox with relationships, but essentially, this is the perspective that some women are coming at with just gender war, right? Let's call it for what it is. It's a gender war, right? And everybody's pushing their own agenda within this process of perpetrating different perspectives about this war, when it all just boils down to misunderstandings and perspectives. Let's be real. It's just misunderstanding and perspectives. If you can be empathetic enough to view things from the perspective of your spouse, and you cannot attempt to alleviate, or you don't care to alleviate any burden from your spouse, you don't love that person. Let's be real. You don't love that person. Like, that's how you deal with it. Okay, man, I'm coming from your perspective, right? This is how you deal with a side piece. This girl, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This ain't my piece. This ain't my home. This ain't where I lay my bed, my head at night. Me and her may get together throughout the day. You know, we may link up. Like, okay, young term. She my sneaky link, right? She who I get down with. I may not love her. Shoot, she don't love me. Let's be real. There's no commitments. There's no obligations. There's no necessity to pour anything extra into the interaction with the sneaky link besides lust. That's it. Once that's done, that's it. I hear some men sometimes, they be like, man, post clarity, and just being respectful of my young audience, because I want them to be included in this conversation. This needs to be a lesson, not only for the old, but the young is my goal, right? So they say post clarity, right? They ain't lying to you. Oh, I done got that lustful spirit off of me. And you can go now. Goodbye. Don't act like some of y'all females ain't never been in that position. But some of y'all, that was the hardening experience in itself. And just looking at accountability, yes, was it your fault as the woman for allowing this activity to take place? Yes, right? Everybody got to play their role, because that's how you grow. That's how you, if you can accept accountability about your contribution to a mishap, I promise you, and you self-reflect. That's why people, the Bible said, meditate on the word. Meditate on your experiences. Meditate on what was stated. Meditate it to a seed that may have been provided to you, so you can understand when you need to take action on it. You need to feed it. You need to nurture it. You need to water it. If you understand what tree, okay, just keeping a tree analogy, right? What tree provided that seed that led to the nourishment, right? I'm going to say you meet, but you have the opportunity, right? That's mentorship. Let's be real. It's mentorship. You find a mentor, you wear out their door. That's what the Bible say. It's that same thing. If you can find a tree that yields productive fruit, by productive, I mean it can be nourished and grown, you go back to that tree. Oh man, I ain't going to Billy Tree. His mangoes taste sour. Why do his mangoes taste sour? There's something off about the balance within that tree. Maybe it needs more sugar. Maybe it needs more sunlight. Maybe it needs more water. But for whatever reason, Billy mango trees ain't yielding the right product no more. They're not yielding good seeds anymore. So then what do? You go to Sally Tree. Because guess what? Sally always has the sweetest, ripest mangoes. Them things, all types of colors. Orange, outside yellow with a little bit of speckle, but it's never rotten. It's never spoiled. Sally's product is always good. Are you going back to Billy's tree or are you going back to Sally's tree? That's on you to decide. But understand, this game ain't only about words. Everybody got free will. It's going to take some action. Everybody who crying about wanting to get community together, what you doing in the community to get it back together? How many people you going out? I'm not talking about the internet. I love the internet again. But spirits are one in connection. How many hands are you shaking? How many people are you talking to? How many compliments are you giving? I can't tell you the number of times I could feel somebody. Prime example, right? I'm gonna give you a prime example. Because this one I felt. And this one was needed in a moment, right? Reciprocation. This is what life is about. Just like the sky gives water back to the ground gives water back to the sky. Reciprocation. It's a cycle. Everything moves in a cycle, right? That's how you find balance. It's within a cycle. So anyway, this young man looking fly, right? I could tell he was going to an interview though, because he had like a little resume in his back pocket. He was dressed very sharply. Formal business accountant with a little jacket, and he was anxious because he was walking really fast, checking his watch. I'm assuming he was trying to make it to the appointment or make it to wherever he needed to be for his interview for that day. In that process though, in all his walks of confidence, because he knew he looked good. You could tell he was feeling confident, anxious, but confident. He almost slipped. Because it was a little slippery area. He's missing it. He's focused on getting to his goal. I'm focused on getting to where I need to be on time. You could tell, looking at things from his perspective, right? He slips and he loses a little bit of his confidence. His walk ain't as, I don't know, his shoulders ain't as thrown back as they were. He lost something in his stride. In that moment, because I was in my car, I rolled down the window. I said, young man, I just want to tell you, You look good. Whatever you going for, you gonna get it. Just be confident in yourself. Just remain confident. Whatever you going after is for you. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. You did your part. Trust in yourself. And you saw it. Confidence revives. He ain't worried about that slip. That was light work. He ain't worried about that slip. He grew a little bit. He elevated a little bit in that moment. That's what I'm talking about planting seeds for people. And I don't know if he got this. I don't know if he got the job. But sometimes it just takes you trusting in you to seal the deal. It ain't about nobody else validating you. Like, I think people miss that. And learning this unconditional love, you better learn this unconditional love for yourself. You learn it for yourself first. Stop coming to these relationships half. Sometimes people are leaving room for the enemy to intercede, and they don't even realize it. You coming into these relationships halfway. And nobody's perfect. Again, stop thinking that this concept of perfection is you being 100% complete. Like a completed pie, right? Like progress of an app downloading. 100% complete. That's a fallacy. That is a concept that was given to us, illustrated to us, and titled perfection. So the natural human is going to make the assumption that it's perfection. It's not perfection. Who was it? Somebody in the Bible, a forefather, and forgive me because I'm horrible with names. Even for, our people in the Bible, I'm sorry. Like, again, no disrespect, but I remember the story. I remember what it's supposed to do. I'm remembering the impact it's supposed to have, which is the message. So either way, he was a drunk, but he was deemed a righteous man. So it's not about you being perfect all the time. Like, people got that off. We were made to be imperfect. We were made to be imperfect. If you focus on the lesson in life being loving yourself with all your imperfections in humility, if you focus on that and being authentically you, because y'all don't realize y'all cheat people out of a lot of messages by lying and hiding stuff. Like, you're contributing to the community not growing the way it needs to when you do things like that. And it comes from pride or ego. It comes from a selfish root. It's not like, it's your truth. Why can't you speak your truth? Oh, because of cancel culture? Who cares? You know how many people have been canceled and revived by different so-called groups? Like, that's bullying into submission. You're going to consider my feelings, or I'm going to retaliate. No, that's childish behavior, man. Grow up. And who are you and all your selfishness to interfere with the next person's message? You don't realize you pay for that too. Because there's consequence, there's ripples, there's extra coins added to that position for you in life. Because it's a ripple effect. Y'all don't understand it. And then and this is why the tree analogy becomes so important too. Just bringing it full circle. I'm bringing it home because I'm getting a message I needed to close up this concept. I left it open and vague, and I'm supposed to paint this vision, this picture a lot more vividly for y'all. So let me paint this more vividly for y'all, right? In terms of judgment and intention. And then too, I'm supposed to say, we ain't meant to be judgers. The Bible tells you that. Like, you're not the ultimate judge. Sometimes y'all gotta shut up. Like, I don't like to use that, but sometimes y'all gotta shut up. Y'all got to shut up and listen. Sometimes you missing your blessing because you won't listen. You in pride and ego. Pride and ego. And in all that pride and in all that ego, you lose your blessing. You miss your message. You praying and asking for an answer, and then when an answer is sent, you miss it because you talk too much. and you don't listen enough. You miss it. So anyway, going back to the analogy, I just was supposed to say that. Again, I'm just the messenger. I'm just supposed to say that. So either way it goes. You get a tree, and this tree drops some seeds somewhere, right? And one of these seeds, they do their thing. They become a big boy. They become a tree themselves. Guess what you just did? Doubled your output, because that is a seed that came from you. That's a seed. It's a man seed. So we know the word, right? So if it's cut down, SE, seed, men, or from men, right? Seed from men. You produce your offspring, you take care of your offspring, they're going to be a tree just as big as you. If you stay out of ego and pride, and that helps your legacy to grow. That prophecy of being like the number of stars in the sky, or your legacy amounting to be as massive as, or as uncountable, right? I think it was the reference, and I'm sorry, I don't have the word in front of me. I'm giving you the message. So, you know, even if I don't have the book, chapter, verse, I'm giving you the message. So accept the message for what it is, right? He's going to number you like the sands in the sea, in the ocean. And those of you who have sand in your shoes and your hair, you understand how small they are, how hard they are to ignore. You know, when you're walking through them, you know, it's like you're not thinking about them as individuals, because they represent a collective nature. Does that make sense? Like with the stars, they give us light. We recognize the light. We recognize the collectiveness of the stars. It's a few of us astronomers, you know, it's people who have interest in dialing into the stars, but for the most part, nobody's gazing at one individual star unless it's very bright. Unless it's very bright. At that point, that's when people take notice of the one individual star. But understand, you represent a collective, aka the body of Christ. You look at how our body works, it works as a collective. You need your arms, you need your legs, you need your head, you need your foot. Can we operate with one loss to the collective? Is it going to shut down the whole body? No. You lose a finger, is it going to shut down your whole body? No. You lose a foot, is it going to shut down your whole body? No. Those of us, and unfortunately this affects our community a lot more than other communities, but you know, again, that's a deeper conversation. We're not going to go into that right now. But if you have seen a diabetic, you understand, like, they can survive with amputations. So it's not unrealistic to understand or to believe that one loss ain't gonna affect how the world spin, right? I think that's the saying. Like, people, I don't know, it's a sacrifice for the greater good. Again, the game of chess in this reference. We're looking at pawns, right? Some people are looking at the people who do not succeed and who do not make it in, within this game, right? For whatever reason, they look at them as a sacrifice or a weight. Oh, they weren't needed anyway. But even with a diabetic, right? If there's no growth and elevation, if there's no change in behavior, in habits, and everything else, if there's no growth towards rebalancing their system, let's just put it that way, they ultimately pass, right? Because the amputated foot leads to an amputated ankle, leads to an amputated knee, leads to an amputated leg, and it's almost like the body begins to break down piece by piece Almost like a warning before destruction. I'm giving you an opportunity to make a change. I'm showing you grace and unconditional love. Not only that, but I'm sending messages your way consistently to tell you, you got to change this. You need help. I'm sending resources. You saw that flyer when you passed by it. I'm sending you message after message after message because I don't want, like, think about it as a creator, right? As an artist, you have your works of art. I'm gonna paint the picture for you so you can empathize with the message I'm trying to give, right? As a painter, you have your paintings in this wonderful gallery, right? All decked out, beautifully arranged. You're getting ready for an exhibit, so you have them all on display. Your pride and joys, these are your best pieces of art, right? Something happens. Gallery catches on fire. You come just in the nick of time to save one piece. But these are all your babies. These are all your masterpieces. Which one do you save? Like, think about that conundrum and then think about the Most High. Like, I want to save them all. But then you have to start looking and assessing on, but who's going to have the most impact? Because the game I'm playing is to win souls. I need my babies back. Like, I created all of this. Can things be recreated? Yes, that's what I believe, right? Essentially. But I created all of these masterpieces, and I want them all to win. You know, I want them to, the prize according to the Bible is you get to sit by my side. You get to come chill and hang with me, right? But you got to be found worthy, and narrow is the path for those who walk it. And people be thinking, oh, that's going to be counted towards me. I get more coins for shouting your name than I do for walking your walk. I've sacrificed nothing. I bear no cross. That's what that means. To sacrifice. To die to an old you. And I'm getting reclaimed, but to rebirth yourself, that's the true rebirth, right? That's the true baptism. Then at that point, when you've experienced that, you've gone through that sacrifice, and yet you still continue to be open to love and to love unconditionally, and that's where the veil is lifted for you. That's when you see things for what they are. Like, you might have been leading up to that, and you have to be leading up to that because it's a progression. For you to understand, I'm not going to say for you to understand, for you to have the best understanding of your experience within that unveiling, because it's about loving thyself, connecting back with thyself, loving thyself, understanding love unconditionally, loving thy neighbor as thy love thyself. It's about all of these concepts, often perverted in scripture, unfortunately, and I'm sorry for the lost sheep. That's why y'all represented so deeply in the word, because it's like, oh, squirrel, oh, pretty thing. Like, you guys are so hung up on the material that you're missing it. You're missing a message, babies. You're missing a message. You're missing what you're supposed to, what you feel your spirit is being called to do. And I know a lot of you still feel empty and void and hollow because you don't fully, you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in that space in that time, but some of y'all in the wrong places. I'm being real with you. Some of you are in the wrong places. Instead of identifying that you're in the wrong places, which takes you being set apart, right? Being holy. Sitting alone with yourself, meditating on the word, self-examining, looking at the instructions that you were given about what things are supposed to be, how things are supposed to feel, right? If you were taking the time to grow in that, your discernment would get sharper. You can see things for what they are. A lot of y'all miss that gift. For some people, they were blessed, right? You was given that gift at birth. Lucky you. That ain't everybody, but you can get though. You can do it. Everybody has the potential to get there. That's what y'all miss. A gift and the opportunity to experience somebody else's gifts lies await for you. You ain't got to be jealous. That's why the Bible said don't be jealous and envious. Just go out there and grind and go get it. Your jealousy and envy is going to lead you down a path of destruction. Y'all don't realize it yet. But that's why you're supposed to stay out of that spirit. That's why you're supposed to stay away from it. It got all the trappings and the illusions of wealth while being worthless for the soul. That's why the Bible say, what does it profit a whole man to gain the world and lose the soul? He's talking to y'all. He's talking to y'all. People who sell their soul for fame, he's talking to y'all. And y'all know it. That's why y'all be crashing out on the internet. Y'all know it. But you can't say it. You can't say it. Because it's in the contract, I bet. If they smart, they put it in the contract. And because people, again, the love of money is the root of all evil. Because people love money so much, they don't even realize what they binding themselves to a lot of times. The contract is a bind. It's an agreement. It's a covenant. Yeah, I don't realize that. So some of y'all who be like, why are you reading the terms and conditions? Why would I bind myself to an agreement I have no understanding of it? Does that make sense to you? Let's say, and some of y'all, especially considering where we are as a current society, for some of y'all who have been on first dates, you understand. And it's gone horribly wrong because I've seen them stories. I'll be able to die. I've seen those stories. But anyway, for those of you who do this, right? You go on these dates off of Bumble, Tinder, whatever platform you on. It don't matter. A new one pops up every day. It don't matter. But you go on these platforms and you commit yourself to marrying this person, right? You say, oh, before we meet, I ain't seen your face. I don't know how you look. I don't know if you really even talk like that with 11 Labs anymore. I don't know if you talk like that. Let's be real, right? with ChatGPT, I don't even know if you look like that because it's realistic now, right? With all of these things that exist that are meant to help push delusion and illusion, right? Kind of one and the same. But you really understand them. You broke them down. That's why the words are so close together. But either way, you fully understood it. You understand why that's dangerous now, right? You understand why reading the terms and conditions before you agree to it, to all of my, that's ain't 30 pages. I'm gonna come back and read it later. I'm gonna look at it later. You want to know what you're binding yourself to. You're agreeing to a contract or to terms you've never even heard before. That's stupid. If you are, again, I love my people. I am not coming out of judgment because I feel like that's going to trigger somebody. I am not coming out of judgment. So I want to get this disclaimer again. It's out of all love, all respect. I'm repeating this for a reason because some people miss it the first and second time. I'm here to teach you something. Just a messenger. If you got eyes, if you got ears to hear, you will hear. And if you got eyes to see, you will see, right? It's the only people I'm speaking to. It's my community, my tribe. You ain't got to be part of my community, my tribe. That's okay. You be you. You do you. But understand, it may be at your own detriment. I just want to be honest with you. Because in that vulnerability, that honesty, that rebuke, that's love. I love you so much, I don't want to see you get hurt. That's love. I'm empathetic enough to understand your perspective. That's love. I love you so much, I want to help alleviate and shoulder some of your burdens. That's love. Because if you think about it, that's how the Most High love us. Because if he loved us like we love us, and he loved us like the world love us, he be like, oh, that person ain't entertaining enough. They ain't flashy enough. They ain't got on the right clothes. Oh, you over there asking me for a promotion so you can get the right clothes. You don't look sparkly enough right now. Come back when you got the sparkles. If he did us like that, we'd be bad off. That's not the way you love people. And for those, because I'm getting this message, for those of you who feel like hiding behind, I don't have enough right now, is an excuse. It's not. It's not. Because everybody has the capability and the ability now, especially now, with the invent of the internet, to go out and get it. Do you want it bad enough becomes the question. And then men be wondering why we're using that as a sign. A person who went out and got it is a leader. We want a leader. Because women want somebody who can lead their household and lead a family, that they can surrender and be submissive to, and that they can be in their pure femininity with. Like, I want to be soft. I want to be relaxed. I want to be taken care of. I want to help build our legacy so they're better than me and you combined. I want to do all that for you. I want to do all that for you. But you got to have ambition. You got to have drive. You like Kevin Samuelson, I hate to reference him because I feel he was so divisive within the community, and let's be real, he planted so many seeds of hate that we face and we're struggling with right now. There's so many ripple effects to what he did because his voice was able to get louder than it should have been. I'll be real with you. And he messed y'all up. What does a woman bring to the table? It's not money. It's not our responsibility to be the hunters. Not unless we lions, right? But in most situations, well, I guess even lions, because that's just mom bringing home dinner for the babies to eat, right? Cooking dinner for the dad. So maybe lions ain't all off, right? Maybe they fundamentally have it the rightest. But since we equate, if you're thinking about like Mel Gibson's movie, and forgive me, I don't remember the name right now, but I think it's like Acropolis or something like that. The Apocalypto, that was it, because it was end of the world movies, right? But essentially it seems like it represents the Mayans back in the day. The men went out and hunted. The women stayed and they took care of the homes. You know what I mean? Like, okay, my man is going to go out and hunt, aka go out and work. He going to be out there slaving. He going to have to jump. He going to have to kick. He going to have to pivot. He going to be mentally and physically exhausted when he gets home, right? Bringing back this example for those who need to hear it. Those who may have fast forwarded or whatever. But restating this message. If you love him in the way that the Most High loves each and every one of us, not just the man, not just the woman, but each and every one of us, you want to lighten his load. You want to be soft and feminine and receptive to whatever it is that he's attempting to offer, because you understand he just went out and sacrificed for you. So you can sacrifice comfort for his peace. You fundamentally learn, like, that becomes love. But at the same token too, Christ say that the man is supposed to love his wife as he loves the church, which means the man is supposed to reciprocate that action. They're not supposed to put more on you than you can endure. They're not supposed to be judgmental of you, because that's fundamentally what they're not supposed to do. Like, love me like you love your homeboy. If you could do that, at least that much, that's good. Love me like you love your homeboy. You don't want your homeboy to fall. You know, if he slip up a little bit, you come in, you help him clean up the mess as bad as you can. You sitting on your homeboy trying to give him sound counsel. You sitting on your homeboy trying to encourage him, uplift him, keep him motivated. I'm calling you just to check in because I care. Treat me like you treat your homeboy. That's really all women are asking. So when they see that you have that capability of exhibiting that type of behavior, that type of love, of being that expressive, of be it admiration or whatever, they see the capability, yet you choose, because everybody got free will. It's a choice. You choose not to practice that within the dynamics of your relationship. It's gonna die. You growing your homeboy and your homeboy family and your homeboy legacy a lot more than you growing your own. You're not prioritizing yourself. You don't love yourself. At this point, I'm loving you more than you love yourself. And in the process, I'm losing myself. And I'm losing my self-love. Like I'm dying in too many ways. That's what marriage present day, okay, let me rephrase that. That is what reality has become present day. It's not right. We got to change it. It's not right. We got to change it. And with the poison and the arsenic being dropped along our path, within this process, it's like, and because we don't have the discernment, even fundamentally, we don't have the discernment to see what's good and what's bad. Some of us are eating candy wrapped in arsenic and we don't even realize it. Like, dang, this thing tastes bitter. I'm going to eat it anyway because waste not, want not, right? I don't want to be wasteful. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to eat it even though it's bitter. Not realizing it's bitter for a reason. You ain't trusting your intuition. You ain't following your gut. You missing something that can be detrimental to you. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, y'all need to wake up. I love you. Depending on how all of this, well, I guess I don't have a choice. So because I was going to say, depending on how this land, I'm not going to come back. And I got the message, don't you play that game with me. So I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Because this is what I'm supposed to do, apparently. Even though I've been pouting, I've been fighting this, I've been encouraged, I've got a warning, but I was obedient for too long. Disobedient for too long. And I got my consequence. So now, here I am, people. I got my consequence. It made me stronger. I'm not bitter. I understand everything that happens within life is a lesson. And it's a lesson for our own benefit. So I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm enjoying the ride. You want to get to know me a lot better. You want to walk through this experience with me because I just been told I can't quit. I can't step away. Even though I want to. And those of you who know me know. You understand. I have to be called to do this. So here I am. Welcome. It's me.